Good morning, everyone. I'm Jody from Autentico USA, and I wanted to come to you today and talk with you about waxing. Wax is one of the ways that you can finish off our vintage chalk paint. We have 16 different colors of waxes. It comes in clear, amber, light brown, dark brown, black, anthracite, taupe, gray, white, Swedish blue, Swedish moss, and then bronze, silver, gold, copper, lots of different colors. So what the wax does over the vintage chalk paint is it melds with the surface. That's the difference that our wax provides compared to a lot of other waxes on the market. Instead of just sitting on top of the surface of the piece that you're painting, it actually integrates with the vintage chalk paint. It protects it, it seals it. When you buff it, it comes up to a nice soft gloss. So I've got some examples here of different colors that we have waxed. Color right here is, let's see, this is Antique Rose. So this is Antique Rose with just the clear wax. This is with the white wax, and this is with the light brown wax. So you can see, even though it's one color, this is 3 different looks. So imagine what colors or what looks you can get when you use all the different waxes. Your possibilities are endless. Something else that the wax does too, if you have a piece that you're waxing that has a lot of detail in it, it can really make those details pop. So this color is Foggy Mist. This is with the clear. This is with the gray wax, and this is with light brown. And then I have, this is Wilderness. This is with the clear, this is with the black, and this is with the amber. So as you can see, it just makes the paint look completely different. So I wanted to show you how easy it is to apply the waxes. I have a color here, this is called Neutral, and I'm going to apply our light brown wax to it. And yes, this is a big can. This is one of our 5-liter cans. So if you do classes or if you do a lot of furniture yourself for resale, we can get you a big can of wax. It also comes in 250 milliliter sizes and the 500 milliliter sizes. The 5-liter though of light brown we're going to use on this, and you don't have to have a fancy brush to apply the wax. You can use a chip brush or you can use a cloth, so you don't have to have a fancy expensive wax brush. A little bit goes a long way. You can see I barely have any on the brush. And then I'm just gonna paint it on. I actually need to get a little bit more. It's a little chilly here this morning, so the wax is kind of stiff. And you just brush it on. And it goes on like melted butter on toast. It just glides on. And then once you're done applying it how you want to apply it, you let it sit for about 45 minutes and then you buff it with a soft cloth. So this is before and this is after. My next color that I want to use as an example is dark chocolate, and I'm going to use one of our most popular colors. This is Anthracite. We have a black wax. This anthracite wax is actually darker than the black. I call it our blacker than black wax. And you can see we've used this brush several times, and that's the thing with our brushes too, or with our wax. Since we're not using any kind of fancy brushes, you don't have to clean them up every time. We just put them in Ziploc bags and just keep the brush until it wears down to the very bottom of the ferrule. So I'm gonna apply the black wax, the anthracite, over the dark chocolate, and that really just darkens it up. It really richens that color. And I've got a little bit excess here, and I've also splattered it on my arm. And I'm just gonna remove a little bit of the excess, but that really just deepens that dark chocolate. It is absolutely stunning. I'll show you the before and after. It still retains its chocolateness, but yet it just really makes it pop and brings out that depth and texture. The next color I want to show you is Crete. It's a nice blue color, and I'm going to use our gray wax over it. We also have white and taupe in the same color family, and I find that that color family of waxes goes really well over blues, greens, other grays. If you want a beachy driftwood type look, that wax family is perfect for it. So this is the gray over the creek. Now, remember before I had splashed some of the anthracite on it? Well, I just kind of wiped it off, and I want to show you what happens with that. We're just going to apply the wax right over it, and it just goes away. Doesn't even make a difference. So your paint sample or your paint finish is not ruined. Get that all nice and even. There is no drag or pull when I'm applying this wax. It literally is so easy to apply. And then I just wipe off the excess. And if I wanted more, if I wanted to gray it up even more, I would let this dry. It's 45 minutes, and I would go ahead and apply another coat. Let's see if you can also, after you wipe off the excess, just like I'm doing now, kind of reapply it a little bit more. So once you get it on like you want it, you just let it dry and then buff it 30 minutes later or 45 minutes later. But this is the before and after. The next sample I want to show you is Venice. It's a great light terracotta color. And I want to use our amber wax over this. Amber can be a little scary. When you open it up, it's actually a really bright orange color, but it doesn't dry like that. I love using the amber wax over our warm colors, reds, the oranges. If you use it over white, it will tend to yellow a little bit, so I don't use it on that. I will use it on the darker colors. It just warms it up and it makes it glow. And when you buff it, it really shines up nicely. The amber is just, it's one of the underrated waxes. I do try to educate people on it because I think they're fearful of the color when they open it up, but you can see how that just really warms that dark chocolate up and makes it glow. So this is the amber over the Venice, and it's just warming this Venice up, really making that depth and texture stand out. And this is it compared to the before. I also have a couple of done samples of the Venice. This is Venice with light brown wax, and this is Venice with the dark brown wax. So depending on what look you're going for, if you want a really antique age look, dark brown would work well. If you just want to darken it up just a little bit, light brown. If you like the color as is, I would go with the clear, but my favorite would be the amber. So once your furniture or your project is waxed, as I mentioned, it takes about 45 minutes to dry, and then you would buff it with a soft cloth. You can use a microfiber mitt, you can use an old t-shirt, just something that's soft and lint-free. You shine it, rub it like you're shining shoes, and it'll just gloss right up. The care and upkeep for a waxed piece for the future is you don't want to use a furniture polish on it. Furniture polish has a solvent that will remove the wax over time. All you have to do is if a piece gets dusty, just dust it off with a lint-free cloth. Every once in a while, you can go and buff it and it'll shine right back up. When you go to buff it, if it doesn't shine back up, that's your sign that it's time to add just another coat of wax. I have found that over the history of using a piece, that may be once every 2 to 3 years. So there's really virtually no maintenance with this, just wiping it down with a soft cloth or a lint-free cloth. You would not want to use our wax over the Versante or the Vivace lines because that already has a built-in sealer and it won't penetrate the surface. It'll just sit on top of it, so that won't work. You would just use the wax with our line of vintage paint. For more information on our waxes, you can visit Autentico-Paint USA.com. You can also order from our online retailers there or visit one of their locations, and stay tuned for more videos to come.